Well, hello everybody and welcome to Jeff's Baking Blog. Today I'm going to be making some friands. These are going to be Mandarin Friands. Now I've made friands in the past, orange and I think blueberry, lemon and blueberry and chocolate. Friands are very similar to financiers, that French cake, in that they have almonds in them, ground almonds, and you use melted butter and egg whites. Very, very popular in Australia and New Zealand. And for these ones, I've got the almonds in and the egg whites, but I've also put some mandarin juice and zest into the mixture with a segment of mandarin and then a nice sort of thick syrup which hardens once it's cooled down. So that's going to be it. Let's go on and see what the ingredients are. So first of all, we have 225 grams of icing sugar, 175 grams of ground almonds, 50 grams of plain flour, 6 egg whites at room temperature, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 185 grams of melted butter unsalted, which I'm cooling down. And the first thing to do is to put the almonds, the icing sugar and the plain flour into a bowl, and then just gently stir those around to get them combined. Now I'm preheating my oven to 200 degrees Celsius, that's 180 Celsius with a fan, or 400 Fahrenheit. And I've greased a friand pan. If you don't have a friand pan, you can use a muffin pan just as well. Right, so I've got the dry mixture mixed together. I'm going to sprinkle into that and mix it in the rind or zest from 3 mandarin oranges. I'm going to mix that round to get that spread into the mixture a little bit, because it tends to clump otherwise. Okay, so then I'm going to take the egg whites and I'm just going to whisk them until they're a little bit frothy. Doesn't need any more than just a little bit frothy. That's good enough. So I'm going to make a bit of a well in the dry ingredients. I'm going to pour the egg whites in, the vanilla extract, and 2 tablespoons of the juice from the mandarins. This is 100 millilitres of juice, and I'm just using 2 tablespoons at this stage. And with that, I'm going to mix it all together until we get a thick batter. Make sure to scrape to the bottom of the bowl. Okay, so that's mixed. And then I'm going to pour in the 185 grams of melted butter, which has been cooling down. And I'm going to mix that until it's all combined. It takes a little bit of time, but it will incorporate. And that's that done. So then we're going to divide this into 12 holes of the Friand pan. Whoops. So I've fairly evenly divided the mixture into the 12 holes of the Friand pan, and I'm going to take one segment of mandarin and place it on the top of each batter. And then I'm going to bake that in the oven, or bake these in the oven, for between 22 or between 20 and 25 minutes until they're firm and just beginning to come away from the edges. And as you can see, the weight of the segments is going to drop them down, and the batter will rise anyway. And then while these are baking, I'm going to make a syrup just with this sugar and the remaining 70 millilitres of mandarin juice. So I've got 100 grams of caster sugar, 70 millilitres of juice. I'm going to put those in a pan and bring them to the boil as the sugar dissolves, and then just let it simmer gently for a few minutes till it begins to thicken, and that will be something that we can then coat the top of the friands with when they've cooled down a little bit. So I'll be back with you when these are out of the oven and they've cooled down. Okay, so our friands have come out now and they're cooling down nicely. They actually I baked them for 22 minutes, and a skewer comes out clean. You can see the bottoms are well baked. They're going to be nice and moist inside, I know that. So what I've done is I've melted the sugar in with the mandarin juice in a saucepan, and I just boiled it for a little while so that it reduced a little bit. It's beginning to get a little bit sticky, but it's still quite runny. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to brush a little bit onto each of these friands, and then I'm going to brush a little bit more once I've done all of them. Now you could actually just trickle this on if you wanted to. Okay, so I've now put some syrup on every one of those, and I'm just going to fill that little gap in there, I can see. And I'm going to leave those and let that syrup cool down. It will get stickier and firm up a little bit as it cools down. And then I'll come back and we'll taste one. Okay, well, I'm back with you now, and our friands are cooled completely and the icing has cooled as well. So let's take a bite. It's so nice and moist inside, and from the icing and from the zest and such like inside, I get that hit of mandarin, and of course the segment on top is still very, very juicy. They really are delicious. So I urge you to have a go at those. And of course, if you do make them, you'll have yolks of egg left over that you can use to do other things like making pastry, for instance, or omelettes. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please give me the thumbs up below the video, and also click to the subscribe button below the video or on the video screen to subscribe to my YouTube channel. In the top right hand corner of the screen there will be an eye that you can click on to get to the recipe, or there will be a link as well below the video that you can click on, and that will give you the recipe. And I will be back with you with another recipe in the very near future. So until then, happy baking.